Now, Frankenstein's monster was put together by grafting different body parts. He didn't work out quite so well, but when it comes to grafting different plant parts, well, the outcome is often much better. And to find out more about the science of plant engineering, I've come to Berrima in the Southern Highlands of New South Wales. Josh is a renowned grafting specialist in Australia, and he's been grafting natives for over 30 years. G'day, Josh, how are you?
G'day, Clarence.
Hey.
Good to meet you, mate.
You too, mate. What a great place you got here.
It's pretty good, isn't it?
So this is where the magic happens?
Yeah, mate. This is where we stick plants together. This is where we graft all manner of things. Mainly we're doing Australian natives here, but we also bring some of the fruit and nut varieties here to do as well for orchards. It means that we get to celebrate everything grafting. Everything you see here is either a rootstock, and we're going to graft it, or we've already grafted it.
So you've got some great looking standards here. What other varieties have you got around?
Well, apart from all of these are actually grevilleas, even though they look so different. We've grafted those so they're up high, at eye level. But we've obviously got these eremophilas here, and eremophila means desert lover, and they grow in arid areas, and which makes it really hard to grow it in your garden in humid East Coast conditions. So we select rootstocks that are really robust, that they cope with a variety of different soils, or we graft at different heights, like the grevilleas behind us, so that you get a different effect. You can see the flowers better. And that's why I love grafting so much, because I'm a plant geek like you. I just get excited about plants. I love them all, but I can't have them all unless I graft them onto a rootstock where I can grow them in my conditions.
There are a lot of fruit trees that get grafted, and is it a case of trying to get a higher yield in some instances?
Yes, it is, yeah. So it depends on the variety. So apples and pears, for example, fruit more heavily on slower growing wood, so we try and slow them down. But also you find in intensive horticulture, if you plant more trees, you get more crop in a smaller space. And so the cost, the irrigation costs, the chemical burden, all of the nasty things is all reduced because we've got an intensive system that produces a lot more in a small space. And there's so many funky things we can do with grafting too. I've got 2 trees at home. I've got a pear tree with 27 different varieties, actually including 2 apple varieties on that pear tree. And I've got an apple tree with close to 40 different varieties because I just can't fit that many fruit trees on my block. They look weird, but I get to enjoy all this fruit at different, spread out the season for sometimes 8 months. And it actually is, to some degree, a natural system. So trees will actually graft where branches press against one another. Sometimes you'll see a graft happen. It's quite common for roots to graft. And so different trees growing in an orchard setting or in a forest, and the roots can actually graft together. So we are working with nature, and the best way to manipulate nature is work with nature.
So when it comes to grafting, you're taking part of one plant and adding it to another?
That's right. So this is Eremophila pink panther, and it likes dry conditions, doesn't cope well with heavy soils. And this is the rootstock we use, a Myoporum acuminatum, and it loves heavy soils. It grows in a variety of soils, a variety of climates. I mean, it's threatening to snow here today. We harvest from these, it's our stock bed. But we can show you how we do this. We'll get a piece of this and a piece of this, and we'll put them together for you.
Let's do that. Well, over 30 years of grafting, there'd be some big numbers when you talk about what you've been up to.
Oh yeah, we've done a few. One year I did 463,000 almond buds in that year, and the crew I was working with did over 2 million.
Oof.
Well, this is the pink panther that we looked at outside, and we'll graft that onto the Myoporum that we also looked at, and this will be our rootstock. So this is a Myoporum cutting that is already struck. You can see the roots on the bottom there, and so we'll graft onto this. So there's really only 3 rules in grafting: cambium, cambium, cambium. So everything we do is about getting cambium to knit together. So we're selecting a piece of wood that's nice and vigorous with buds that aren't too far advanced. And if we look at this, the reason we want vigorous rootstock is because if it's growing vigorously, then the cambium is going to produce callus quickly. So once again, cambium, cambium, cambium. I'll clean that up. So that's, we don't want too much leaf on the top. And then we get our rootstock. So we trim it down. We should get a good match there. I need space so that I can tie it. Now I am just going to cut straight down the middle of this, and we'll do what's called a top cleft graft. There's lots of different ways we can graft, but this is nice and simple. So then we get our scion and we cut nice and straight, even on both sides. So then we put our scion in and we slide it in, and we want the bark, the line under the bark, which is the cambium layer, to match on both the scion and the understock.
So a wedge into the cleft.
Yes, just the wedge. And we want to leave what's called a church window exposed. That way the scion will heal up really evenly and you won't have any dieback in it.
So the church window, as in you can see the arch just above the cut of the rootstock.
Yeah. Yep. So at this point, we have to tie it together, and we use what we call buddy tape, which is basically paraffin tape. And what we do, this will actually break down after 2 or 3 weeks. We need to wrap that nice and tight. We start at the bottom and stretch the tape so that it's nice and clear, and it'll stick to itself. And it seals the entire cut.
And completely covering the open wound, so to speak.
Completely covering the wound, otherwise it will desiccate. And I like to do about 2 or 3 wraps around it and just push that into itself. So it creates a nice humid environment, which is the perfect environment for callus growth.
Yeah.
There's a saying we have is that a tight tie covers a multitude of grafting sins. Clarence, if you could pass me one of those bags after you've put a spray of inoculant in it.
Sure. So what's the purpose of the inoculant?
This puts good bugs on so that there's no room for bad bugs to come along.
Ah.
And we just seal up our bag, creates a nice humid environment so it's not going to desiccate, and that extra little bit of humidity makes a big difference as well.
This is a fascinating process. You know, people like yourself and other grafters, you're providing all these really amazing plants for gardeners to utilise in their gardens.
Well, it's great for them and it's great for us. I get to work in my hobby, and it's great that other people can enjoy these wonderful plants.
Whether you like a standard grevillea with flowers at eye level, or growing heirloom apples in a climate they aren't suited, or even cultivating disease-free roses, grafting can be applied to so many different plants for so many different reasons. Grafters, keep on grafting.